God damn it. I don't want the metronome on. I try to tell him every time. What's up, everybody? That was a very unfortunately loud clicking noise I was dealing with briefly. Welcome to Requiem for a Tuesday. First solo episode in a while, I've realized. Also just generally, hit my once a month criteria lately. It has been a year, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just put it that way. I've kind of just been busy-ish. I mean, not really. I've been kind of just, We'll see what the new year brings. I'll stick to my once a month minimum, and that's about all I can commit to. See, the thing is, here's the real truth. I kind of always didn't have a weekly ability to do the show if I wasn't talking football in the winter. I just can't do the Bears thing this year because we got to get to the end, and that's it. I can't jinx anything, and I also can't just tee myself up for incredibly regrettable moments, okay? So, in either direction, I just can't ruin it. So, that's where we're at. But, I'm still seeing movies. I'm still watching shows. So, as it comes, the episodes come, is essentially where we're at. Now, all I have to say television-wise is if you're not, you should be watching Pluribus. And, that's when somebody hits you with the, I don't have that streaming service. I didn't ask you if you did. Ever. Whenever I say there's a show you should be watching, I'm not asking if you have the service. I'm telling you, you should be watching it. The rest is on you. Congratulations. Get a password. Make an effort. It's just over. You're just telling me you don't want to. That's okay. Just say it. Probably not going to watch it. That's called honesty, ladies and gentlemen. You think I pay for every single service? No, but I scratch and claw to get a password if I really need to watch it. Okay? Anyway, Pluribus. What's it about? Can't really explain it. But essentially, there's a hive mind that has taken over the world, and there's one lady who wants to do something about it because there's only a dozen people immune globally. And Vince Gilligan, it's not like it's like Breaking Bad. It is set in New Mexico again also. But it features all of his best just quirks and qualities and we're going to start the episode from the perspective of some guy at a warehouse where they're building the device that's later going to end up being delivered to Walter White's house. That's not a direct thing, whatever. But you get my point where it's I'm coming at this 10 steps before you can even start the story. And it's very engaging. It works. There's the reverse camera thing where I'm inside a thing and then somebody opens the door and that's the main character. And it's oh, wow. Just very engaging stuff like that. It's funny, maintains the comedy, underlines, the comedic undertones that were there the whole time. Now, I would say that this show is more generally overall comedic in nature and that the drama is kind of intertwined. So it's just kind of a flip. But it's all the quality with sci-fi in it, but it's very grounded in reality. But it's not. It's very unique, which great. Thank God for that. It's a minimum 2 seasons because it was signed on for that. So that's great. You're not going to just be left with some cliffhanger that doesn't get resolved. Also, I will just say in general, Apple is spending the money. Shout out to them. They're producing a lot of good stuff. Now, there's a lot of duds in there. Maybe like, they're at a 30% success rate, but like the level of success is like high end. You got your Severance, Studio. I guess a slight tier below, but like Platonic is a good show. I guess the morning show is like their ratings show. But I've only heard awful things. Just awful. So I guess that doesn't really count in the same section. But I guess this isn't a ton of shows. But Pluribus you can add to that list. But I'm just saying, if you can watch, if you told me, let's say, within 5 years even, that CBS had 10 must-see shows, I mean, that's just not true. Is that even true of HBO? You could argue. So they're doing good work, is my point. And they're just shelling out the cash. And that's the greatest thing in the world, because they'll burn $100 million and not even know it. And that's honestly, it's the one plus of tech giants getting into the game. Which kind of brings us into the Warner Brothers situation. I think if Netflix buys Warner Brothers and that goes through, it should not be allowed to go through. Now, that I've already heard that their argument is like, but everybody watches YouTube more than anything else. You're going to shut down movie theaters across the country. People are going to be out of jobs. I mean, building, like, you know what I mean? Like, buildings are going to go to waste. Like, this is going to be a disaster. I don't care how much they say they'll put things in the theater. Like, they already only do the technical minimum for every movie that they release anyway, just to try to get awards. So which I still don't understand. Here's the thing. Why don't you even just do the reverse medium? It won't work this way. But like, if you really wanted to put movies in theaters, then give it 2 weeks on Netflix first and then put it in wide release. Now, that's probably a bad idea, because people would already watch on now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, do something. Give it 2 weeks wide, 2,000 screens across America. Just 2 weeks. Opening weekend is what most movies have anyway. And then they all crater, especially lately. I mean, this entire year, it seems like every movie outside of like 6 have had just a shit second weekend. So go 2 weekends and then it drops on Netflix. Like, I don't see the issue with that. I don't see why that wouldn't make them more money. Because how many movies are coming out direct to Netflix where they're getting a ton of signups on that release day because of just that one movie? Nothing they even do anymore captures anybody. I mean, nothing anybody does really captures anybody. There's hardly any singular cultural moments. You've heard a million people talk about that already. So, I won't add to the nauseum. Ooh. I just don't. I don't see how it goes well for anybody. I mean, if they truly kept things the same, if they truly left like HBO as just a subsidiary, but like a separate entity that still operates exactly on its own with zero interference, then sure, that's great. But why would you buy it to not do that? To do something else? Like, I don't know why you would buy something to keep it exactly as it is, unchanged. What, just to add to their library? So then, but what does that mean? Like, does Max now go away? How hard is it going to be to find HBO? Will HBO still be a channel? Not that I really care about that, but I guess I kind of do. Just because if it's Netflix that's taking it away, they're clearly like, they were in that case, they would clearly be trying to just take something away. And then you could argue like, it's all private business, like whatever. But it's like they're really, you got to stop a monopoly at some point in time. We can't let them all happen. And it's basically kind of like all we fucking have is shit to watch. Like, why are you ruining this for us too? You know what I mean? If I'm never going to own a home, allow me to watch a goddamn movie and make it good. Just make it good. That's all I need. You know what I'm saying? We're all pretty simple. That's why, like, I think if the NFL went direct in 1 year, like we're going full cable, I think then there would be like legitimate civil unrest. Like that's what it would take. And like you're pushing people to the fucking brink as it is. Luigi Mangioni's fucking killing CEOs left and right. All these types of characters out here. You're going to take away our shows? You can't. You can't take away my movies. It's all I have. You know? That's not a threat to anybody, by the way. I'm such a pussy. It's unbelievable. But I'm just saying, you're making people nuts out here. Like, give the creative people final cut the check, and shut the fuck up, and put it in theaters. And you know what I mean? Because then what's it going to be? It's going to be $85.99 if you want Netflix with HBO, with this, with that, with this, with that, with this, with that. They're just going to own it all. I don't want it. We don't want consolidation. We don't want it. Nobody wants it. It's the premise of Pluribus. I just put it together. It's about standing up to corporate awfulness everywhere we go. It's too much. We all know it's too much. But what can you do? You can't do a goddamn thing. Just put out a Leonardo DiCaprio movie and put it in the theaters, like, and we don't riot. Like that. Those are the rules. Dems is the rules. So play by the fucking rules and just let me watch my goddamn movies in the goddamn theaters. You know how good Weapons was in IMAX? Are you kidding? My shitty ass TV? No, thank you. I don't want it. I want the big room with the loud and the big and the everything. Terrible. Terrible. They should be required to buy a movie theater chain and sign an agreement that says they have to keep it open unless it critically fails. But they have to act with interest. You know what I'm saying? They have to good faith it as a business. Buy AMC, then I'm good. This is crazy. Because Amazon buys MGM. That's just like a part of their portfolio now. You know what I mean? They're not like, nobody cares about Prime. It's an add-on to their thing literally already. Does anybody, like one singular person, subscribe to just Prime Video? Not a Prime member on Amazon.com. They're like, no, I pay $12.99 for Prime Video. There's not one person. You watch it because you have it. None of it's good. It's all almost good. The best thing on Amazon Prime is almost really good. Shout out Red Oaks. Shout out Mozart in the Jungle. Shout out whatever else. Invincible is pretty good. But it's still, it's not. New season came out. Don't care. You know? It's like, whatever. And so, yeah, are they probably like making cuts at MGM or whatever? But like, yeah, like just in a way that like makes sense, like business wise. They don't care ultimately what happens to it, which isn't good either. But there's no agenda in buying it other than like, we want to like make money off your shit that you already own. Netflix is trying to transform something. And that I'm not okay with. I'm ultimately already not okay with the Amazon thing. Apple's at least doing their own thing. And releasing movies into theaters. And it's also just a pet project side thing for them to do. This is like nefarious. This is dark. This is not good. And, you keep hearing that movies are dying, and it ultimately kind of is true, but it kind of isn't true because there are plenty of times where I'm at the theater and it is packed. And is that almost always like a Saturday at a certain time? Pretty much, yes. But there's always at least a few people in every movie, pretty much, like any time of day, no matter how long it's been out. And pretty much, now this could just be like a big city thing, and like people in Chicago like movies a little bit more, maybe. That's certainly the case in New York, and without a doubt the case in Los Angeles, but it's hard to say. Like if I go out to a theater 40 miles from here in the burbs, is it a ghost town? I mean, I could see that being the case. I don't know. Maybe I'm out of touch. But I don't, it can't. It can't. When are these goddamn kids going to put on their fucking phones and go to the goddamn movies? All right. That's enough of that. Speaking of going to the movies, hit a double dipper, double feature over the weekend. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, The Lady Wanted to Go. Whew. You could technically call it a movie. That was awful. That was awful. Just a big nothing of nothing. And these little Mexican kids wouldn't shut the fuck up the entire fucking time. I mean, to an egregious degree. I mean, not even whispers. At some point, just full volume speech. And what am I? Am I going to get jumped by a bunch of fucking 15-year-olds at the movie theater? Like, no. So I'm stuck. Fucking running around, and then all of a sudden, there's dumb little symbols that pop up. All these kids in the whole theater just go fucking nuts. Like I don't know what the fuck's going on. I somehow never even heard of this as a video game. When the movie came out, I didn't understand why it was a sensation. People were like, oh, because everybody played the video game, and I don't know, and I never really looked into it either. So I still basically don't know. We flew down to Universal Studios for Halloween Horror Nights this year. The Five Nights at Freddy's haunted house, longest line by far. I think we waited like 2+ hours. I went to be fair, didn't waste any time. I hit all 5 of the whatever they're called, the officially licensed themed haunted houses. And it was, borderline the worst one, second to worst one at least. So I don't get the hype. The first movie, thought it was awful, incoherent, not scary, doesn't make sense. Like, where's the news or the police ever? You know what I mean? There's literally like robots murdering children at a school. Why didn't they just tear these places down? Like, none of it makes any sense. Especially because this is the sequel. The whole thing happened in the first one. But nobody knows, I guess, is the whole thing. But now people know. So, like, what's the thing? It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sure there's answers to those questions. It's nonsense and bad. It was bad. Didn't care for it at all. Zootopia 2. Zootopia 1, very good movie. Smart, funny, good for adults, good for kids. Basic message to kids, don't be racist, I guess, basically, is the whole point. I got no problem with that. You know what I have a problem with? I was thinking about this. Outside of, like, I understand, I guess to a degree, I understand being upset about any, like, weird sexual thing happening in a children's movie. I'm getting there, don't worry. But anybody who gets upset about any type of thing in a kid's movie, like, you're a pussy. Some people just need to reflect and realize that, like, you're being a pussy, too. People getting mad. Oh, can you believe how woke this children? What do you want the children's movie to say? Children's movies are going to have positive messages about acceptance and whatever bullshit you want. There's not going to be this, like, detain people at the border children's movie. It's just not going to exist. And if it does, that's bad. That's bad for children's movies. You know, keep your politics out of the children. They're not putting them in there. And maybe they are. And they triggered you and it worked or whatever. But just think about it. It's a movie for children. It's just going to have positivity. That's the whole point. Just quit being a pussy. Like, you're triggered by a children's movie? You're an adult. Act like one. It's unbelievable. Anyway. They just want me to support the gays. It's like, it's a kid's movie, man. Your kids shouldn't be calling people faggots. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, they'll believe whatever you tell them later. Trust me, man. Like, you don't got to worry about it. The movie's not going to fucking indoctrinate your child for the rest of their life. Unless that's what movies do to you. Like, I base my life off of Old Yeller. I kill all my dogs. Like, I don't know what your point is. Like, do you feel that you've been brainwashed by Disney? Unfortunately, I guess as I said that, I realize a lot of people certainly have, and it is sad. But I think you get my point. Because, hey, look, a lot of kids saw WALL-E. There's a lot of fat, fucking lazy kids, okay? So don't you worry. It didn't work. So whatever the agenda is, get over it. Like when there was that like fake outrage about whatever. It doesn't matter. You get my point. Just like you're a pussy if you're mad about something that's in a movie, basically. Either way. So just stop being a pussy. That affects my delicate sensibilities. Like nobody cares. Nobody cares if it hurts your little Christian feelings, and nobody cares if it hurts your little wokey feelings. Fuck your feelings. It's a movie. Grow up. It's a show. Who cares? Say it's bad. Great. You didn't like it. Not a problem. Quit crying. I saw loose things about that, about Zootopia. I didn't read too much into it, but I mean, why are you upset about this? Kids will not even understand whatever thing you're referring to. Kids don't know anything about anything. And they're animals. So it really doesn't matter. There's gay animals in a movie. Like, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. They look like animals. You know what I mean? It's nonsense. And I don't even recall that even happening in the second one. Anyway. So the first movie is whatever, you know, she's a little rabbit. She's able to make it as a cop. They treat her like, you'll never make it because you're a rabbit. You're little. It's a big man's world. Put her on traffic duty. Somebody comes in. Blah, blah, blah. My husband's missing. She stumbles into a conspiracy. Turns out there was an effort to, like, turn Zootopia on predator level animals and convince them that they could go murderous at any time and kill all the little non-predator animals because it's Zootopia. They all live in harmony, right? And it's basically just like, you know, it's New York City, it's Tokyo, it's Hong Kong, it's whatever. It's a major city where they all live together. And it, you know, whatever. And then she meets a fox. She gets hustled by the fox. They end up working together. Unlikely duo, yada, yada, yada. End up saving the day. Turns out it was an inside job. They're fucking making this happen. It's not a real thing. Very good movie. Was genuinely very surprised, especially when that came out. I mean, Pixar has been on a downturn, as everybody knows, for quite some time now. But still, like a Disney original animated movie, I feel like typically meant that will not be good. Like you couldn't even slap Pixar on it. It's just Disney computer animation. I feel like that's usually bad. So I was surprised when I saw this. It's very good. You know, plenty of jokes for adults and entertaining enough to watch. And, you know, all that shit will go right over a kid's head, like I said. And they'll just enjoy watching the animals do funny little things and save the day and whatever. And then maybe if they watch it as they get older, they take a little bit more away from it. But ultimately, the message is just like, you shouldn't just judge people based on how they look, whatever. Or their size or whatever. Like, you know, don't judge people, whatever, essentially. So then the second one takes place like almost like right after, it seems like they acknowledge the events of the first movie, and they're essentially right away, everybody's like, you guys just kind of got lucky, you suck, and they're like fighting a bunch all of a sudden, and whatever. Essentially, snakes are the only animals banned from Zootopia because they're snakes. I mean, I think that's kind of self-explanatory, right? And they start to get a hunch that there may be snakes like roaming around behind the scenes, and they like want to steal like the original plan to the city. That's essentially the premise of this, and the bunny and the fox kind of get framed, I guess, or mistaken to have like fucked up again, and they're like, you guys are and it basically just sets in motion the exact same plot of the first one, except now they're like officially actual partners, but where it's like, you're off the force, and it's like, well, I'll do it on my own anyway. And then they go on their own way to uncover blah 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 blah. It's another conspiracy. Rich people stole everything and killed people and did terrible things, and they've just been lying to consolidate their power and wealth and whatever. You know, good allegory for everything. We get it. And the snake was innocent the whole time. The snake was, what's his name? Kihoi Kwan. That's mean. That sounds mean. If that's really wrong, then that's mean. I genuinely just don't know how to say that guy's name or what it is. So you know what I mean, though. It didn't fit the way the snake looked. The snake also looked just odd. I feel like all the other animals are like pretty realistic looking, and this one was just like so explicitly a cartoon. The whole character threw me off quite a bit. But this one has like there's like a Pulp Fiction homage. There's a Shining homage. There's probably a few other ones I missed. I feel like maybe or I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention, or those were just the most overt. You know, a little less funny, you know, maybe made a little less sense, you know, just very sequel-y, where it's like, let's just ramp it up quite a little bit more and let's throw a little bit of the logic out the window. But very good. Also very good. It's made like $1 billion in like 2 weeks, which is pretty unbelievable. So I think people like it. And they did set up for a third one at the end, which will definitely be coming because a Billy. Did the first one even make $1 billion? I'm going to check real quick. I don't think so. No, maybe it just did. That has to be what it is. It just did. 1.025 billion. Zootopia 2, I mean, is at $917 million. It has been out for 2 weeks. That is crazy. Soon to be surpassed by Avatar 3. Can't wait. Big Jim coming through. Making my lady watch the first two leading up to it. About 2 hours into the first Avatar, she pretty much was like, I thought this was Earth in the future or something. And claimed that they did not explain that it was another planet. So it's going well. It's going well. Avatar 2 coming soon. I'll let you know if there's anything interesting. What else is going on? I think that might wrap it up. We got Marty Supreme coming soon. Almost dropped the mic, but I caught it. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Marty Supreme coming soon. Avatar 3 coming soon. On the first day of Hanukkah, a week from today, special screening of 8 Crazy Nights at the Regal. I will be there. Fucking love 8 Crazy Nights. Incredibly underrated movie. Fucking love Adam Sandler. Fucking love Adam Sandler. Oh, yeah, there's that movie coming out, too. Jay Kelly to Netflix with Adam Sandler. Need to watch that. Knives Out 3, I believe, comes out this Friday as well. So a lot of things cooking. It's going to be a hot December. The Oscar race is going to be contentious. I can feel it already. The Golden Globe nominees came out. I don't really want to dive into that too much, honestly. That award show, I didn't understand why people referred to it as basically just like a sham nonsense award that nobody cares about, especially the past few years. But it really just is. It's fun to watch. You know, it's an entertaining program that I will check out. You better believe it. But you just don't really need to take that much stock in it. I feel like it's just not that prestigious of a win overall. But like I said, I'll watch. So who's the joke on? Joke's on me. Joke's on me. Joke's always on me. I can't ever catch a break in this world. I don't know. Feeling kind of sleepy already. It's only 6:30, so it's going great. Another wonderful Monday. Snowed 4 inches yesterday. It's supposed to snow like 5 times in the next week or 10 days. It's good. It's good. Well, we're having no days over 40, so it's not going anywhere. So it's good. Everything's good. And yeah, I got to get an oil change. I'll let you guys know how that goes. No, I won't. Anyway, exciting December, especially in football. Knock on wood. Long way to go. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll be back after I watch all those other things. Netflix is really fitting. Oh, that's the other thing. I knew I had one more quick thing. Stranger Things is awful. It's a terrible show. This whole first, however, for the 4 episodes, they've all been bad. There's moments that are okay. Almost every scene that's just dialogue is someone explaining the plot and what's happening. There's never any real dialogue. Everyone's just explaining how someone else feels or how a situation came to be. It's just terrible. There's nothing but exposition, and then there's CGI slop. And it's like, man, remember when this was like a tight-knit community show and there was like a ton of characters and it was really small and it was mostly about the characters and their relationships, and then like it was interspersed with like horror, like really, really high-end horror. It was like 80s fucking revitalism, because I can't think of a word that I'm looking for right now, so I'll say that. But it was like all references to that and like retro-themed stuff, but like with real characters who were developed and, you know, had storylines with each other, and there was like a whole small town vibe and feel, and you kind of knew a whole bunch of people, and then be like intense, like dark horror that does not match the campiness of the rest of the show. And that was a unique juxtaposition. And now it is just an action movie. It doesn't really feel like it's set in the 80s. The characters are 100 years old, and it's really jarring because they look so young when it started. The dialogue, like I said, just no dialogue is good. Nobody's doing anything interesting. I just like straight up don't care what happens. Like I don't know how you're invested in any of this at all. I'm sorry. It's terrible. It's just terrible. I think that'll wrap it up. So fuck Netflix is my point. Even though I will be watching Knives Out 3 and Jay Kelly. And I want to watch Death by Lightning. It seems good. But I don't even know how old that is at this point. That could just be really dated of me to say. Anyway, I'll be back when I'll be back, because you know how I'll be doing it. Check it out on a Tuesday and see how we be screwing it. I don't know. Might be next week. Might be 2 weeks. With the holidays and everything coming up, though, is my point. It's especially a little bit screwed up. So I will have a lot of things to talk about. I just don't really know when. Check out all the links in the description below for lots of goodies. And remember, I are fat, you are fat, we are fat. Calculator.